campaign advisor, Julius Laar. Julius, you worked for the Obama campaign, a successful campaign back in 2008. We're so pleased to have you here. Trump keeps appearing at this convention. He can't stay off the stage. He can't stay out of the spotlight. Has he already ruined some of the buildup and suspense of this evening?
You would think so, right? Showing up after his wife's speech on the first night and so on and so forth. But again, this whole campaign has been about Trump and nothing else. It's the whole Trump show. And so, of course, the whole convention was going to be about him. And I think looking at the way this convention has been playing out so far, it has been very rocky. So I think Trump wanted to sort of pull back, get back into charge, and I think that's why he's been showing up.
Well, speaking of things that are rocky, let's take a look back at the ringing non-endorsement we saw from Cruz.
Those listening, please don't stay home in November. Stand and speak and vote your conscience. Vote for candidates up and down the ticket who you trust to defend our freedom and to be faithful to the Constitution. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless the United States of America.
What a dramatic moment. That's just
unbelievable.
Really, I mean, it just gets crazier and crazier. But it's also, I mean, it's quite clearly not a Trump endorsement. And with Cruz making those long pauses, they're drawing it out. It's almost like he was teasing Trump a little bit. People were waiting for him to say it, and he just didn't. My question is, why speak at the convention if you're not going to endorse the party candidate?
Well, two things. One, remember the primaries. Remember what Trump did to Cruz during the primaries. He called him lying Ted. You know, he went hard after his wife. He even alleged that Ted Cruz's father was somehow involved in the Kennedy assassination. So I think there are, deeply hurt feelings on behalf of Ted Cruz. But the second point is, this is a reality TV show. The whole convention, the whole primary campaign was. And I think this time around, Ted Cruz got the better of Donald Trump and actually beat him in this whole game.
All right. The reality TV show continued, and as we saw, people were booing and chanting, "We want Trump." Trump himself reacted on Twitter by immediately shrugging it all off. Here's what he tweeted. "Wow, Ted Cruz got booed off the stage. Didn't honor the pledge. I saw his speech 2 hours early, but I let him speak anyway. No big deal." Now, on social media, this photo is making the rounds, captured while Cruz was giving a speech, and it's fair to say that Donald Trump and his family don't look amused. So maybe it was a big deal after all. And although Cruz was booed by the members of the Republican National Committee, his speech was welcomed by Trump's rival Hillary Clinton. She echoed Cruz's key message in a tweet, "Vote your conscience." She's, of course, probably hoping that those Republicans who won't vote for Trump might consider voting for her instead. But, Julius, we can't forget there was another speaker on Wednesday night, the nominee for vice president, Indiana Governor Mike Pence. Let's take a quick listen to what he had to say.
I accept your nomination to run and serve as Vice President of the United States of America. I'm a Christian, a conservative, and a Republican in that order. Because conservative principles work every time you put them into practice. You have nominated a man for president who never quits, who never backs down. He's a man known for a large personality, a colorful style, and lots of charisma. And so I guess he was just looking for some balance on the ticket.
A Christian, a conservative, and a Republican, says Mike Pence. Those are all characteristics that people have openly doubted about Donald Trump, and he joked about it. But there is some truth to that. He is a bit of an anti-Trump.
Right. He's a little bit bland in comparison. Then again, almost everyone is, right? But again, this convention and this vice presidential pick of Mike Pence is supposed to unify the party. Trump is trying to signal to the ultra-conservative, the evangelical wing of the party to say, look, I understand where you're coming from, and this is sort of a signal saying, I'm reaching out to you. Now, whether that works out or not is the second question. But again, keep in mind, vice presidential picks never change fundamentally the outcome and the trajectory of an election. So I think Pence did a well-crafted speech. I think he delivered it well. But in the end, come November, this won't have any impact.
Well, let's see how that party unity is getting underway now, Julius, because we have Richard Walker joining us from the floor of the convention in Cleveland. Let's cross to him now, if we can pull up Richard. Richard, tonight's motto is Make America One, but the Republican Party itself doesn't really appear to be one. How much unity are you seeing there?
Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, last night's speech, you've already been talking about it, with Ted Cruz up there on the stage, really quite openly snubbing Donald Trump. And around us, where we were sitting in the arena, there were huge choruses of boos. People were really, really angry. And that is going to be really Donald Trump's kind of challenge tonight, to rise above that extremely strong snub delivered by Ted Cruz and reassert his authority over this party, and to some people assert it for the very first time. So you might call it kind of Project Unity. We're going to see what he says, obviously, if the party can rally round behind what he has to say. But we've been taking the pulse of delegates and other members of the party in the arena here today, talking about what people want to hear from Donald Trump. Let's take a look.
I hope he loosens up, speaks off the cuff somewhat, and tells it like it is.
My expectations are for some type of a show. It's always a show. It's always dramatic with Donald Trump.
I think he needs to lay out some vision about what he's actually going to do. I think, he's a wonderful businessman, et cetera, but, this is like the President of the United States, and some of his comments have been a little off the wall, I believe.
I think he's going to really try to unite the party. He's going to be presidential, and that's what people are expecting to hear.
I'm excited about tonight, because tonight is when Donald Trump is going to take the stage, and we're going to see Donald Trump in all his glory.
I expect nothing but the best. He wants to bring America back tonight, and I want America to be the way America was when I was growing up.
I would like to see Donald Trump become more presidential. I think the hard part of the campaign is over in terms of becoming our candidate, but he needs to tell America what he wants to do, how he wants to do it, what his vision is for the United States, and how he's going to bring us as a nation and a people together.
Well, Richard Walker, we heard that last person saying she wants to see Trump being more presidential. Do you think she's going to get her wish this evening?
I think there's a strong chance of that. I mean, I think we are now entering a new phase of the campaign. We've got the primaries behind us. We've also got an unusual convention behind us. And now it really is time for Donald Trump to assert his authority over the Republican Party, as we were just saying, because if he can't unite the party, if he can't take on this kind of presidential role, then he won't be perceived to have much chance of uniting the kind of coalition that he would need to actually win the election come November the 8th. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what kind of a tone Donald Trump does strike. There's been an awful lot of pressure on him over the last couple of months to do that, to become presidential, in that woman's words. It'd be very interesting to see if that is exactly what he does tonight.
It will be interesting to see, and we're looking forward to getting some analysis from you when it does happen. But just looking back, this is day 4. You've been there for a few days. Do you feel like the party has come together at all on the sidelines off this main stage show that we've been watching?
I think yes and no. I mean, the majority of delegates did vote for Donald Trump, and you do have an awful lot of passionate Trump supporters here. But a lot of the people that we've spoken to are much more pragmatic, and they simply acknowledge that their favored candidate, for many it was Ted Cruz, that their favored candidate hasn't won the nomination, and now that they have to start looking ahead to the choice that they will face on November the 8th. And there it's going to be a choice primarily between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. And that name, Hillary Clinton, is really the one thing that can bring these squabbling factions within the Republican Party together. Because I think one thing that almost everybody here has in common is that they don't want to see her entering the White House.
All right, Richard Walker, we're going to be checking back in with you throughout the evening as the big night gets underway there in Cleveland. For now, thanks so much for your reporting. Julius, I'd love to get your take on this because you've worked on several campaigns. How important is a convention in and of itself? Is it something people will have forgotten about come November, or is this a key moment for Donald Trump?
Usually conventions don't matter that much. I mean, of course, you want to make sure that everything goes smoothly, and of course, this hasn't been going smoothly for Trump. But in the end, nobody's going to remember Cleveland. Now, this time around, it might be a little bit different because of what Richard just said. It is about, for Trump at least, to bring the party together, to unite people. And in the end, Republicans will have to turn out their voters. And of course, Trump has to rely on the party. He doesn't have a strong campaign. He doesn't have that big infrastructure that the Obama campaign had in 2008 and in 2012 that Hillary Clinton is set up to have. So he has to rely on candidates down ballot, but also the RNC, the Republican Party, to build some of that infrastructure, not only for fundraising, but also for voter contact and voter turnout.
Are you optimistic that the RNC is going to come through for him now when it really matters?
I think the RNC has to. Reince Priebus, the RNC chairman, said that he is in full endorse mode for Trump. So I think the RNC is there. The question, of course, is, again, what's the delivery going to be tonight for Donald Trump? Is he going to go out there? Is he going to give a, inspiring speech? Will he be able to pull in the Ted Cruz fraction of the party? That's left to be open.
Also left open are, what are Trump's real, actual chances against a candidate like Hillary Clinton?
Right. So in a normal cycle, right, you would say that someone who has 65% unfavorability ratings, there's absolutely no chance that that person would have any sort of shot at the White House. Again, keep in mind, Hillary Clinton is very disliked as well. Her numbers are at 58%. So the question becomes, how is that going to evolve over the course of the campaign? Can Clinton actually get her numbers up? If she can get into the 50s, I think there's a big chance that this is going to be a wipeout for Trump. But again, they're going to focus hard, and we've seen this throughout this campaign, to keep the tone very intense, keep it negative. They've been chanting, let's put Hillary in jail. She's a criminal. There was actually one of the Trump advisors saying, they should pull out the firing squad and get rid of Hillary Clinton altogether. So there's been some outlandish stuff said, but the negative tone of this campaign will actually help Trump make sure people stay at home, especially those voters for Hillary Clinton.
Julius van der Laar, he is a campaign advisor who worked on the Obama campaign. Thanks for being in the studio with me. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, Sarah.